defeat at the hands of Notre Dame. But an emotional matchup of two of the giants in college basketball. Steve Alford not able to hit. Kentucky in the blue. And Indiana in the white trim with red. Uwe Blum has been the big factor thus far. 3 field goals, 6 points.
If he gets out of the gate early, usually has a great ball game. The refs are blowing a fast whistle. There's 4 fouls on Indiana and 3 on Kentucky.
Marty Simmons finishing off the break, and the Hoosiers by 5, 14-9.
What they got to do, the Big Blue have to get the ball into Walker down low in the paint. They want to stay in this ball game.
Kenny Walker with a field goal, 3 from the line for 5 thus far. Walker not able to hit. And Brett Barrett connecting on his second field goal. And he was fouled, so he will go to the line.
Watch here where Brett Barrett gets on the inside. This is the missed shot by Kenny Walker. Dances around up there. Now watch the inside position. He got Uwe on his tail. That's it. 3-point play, maybe.
And for Blum, his second personal foul. Brett Barrett, a senior from Centerport, New York, bringing Kentucky within 2. 13:45 remaining in this first half.
As I said earlier, Mark, the refs are going to blow a very fast whistle. This game's going to be determined on the foul line. They're afraid of losing control because it's going to be such a physical game. That should be 2.
Steve Alford, who comes off a 1-for-6 shooting game against Notre Dame on Tuesday.
Well, you got to remember, they used a combination on him, a 4-1. When you use a combination on the ball play, it's very difficult to score.
Here's Barrett. So he has 7. He's averaging 5 per game coming in. It's a 16-14 lead for Indiana.
I'd like to play Steve a little bit closer than that. Harden's on him.
Alford giving it up. Mike Gioli with a second field goal, a 62% free throw shooter, and it's Indiana by 4. This is James Blackman as we set the Wildcats. And he is called for the travel.
You got to remember, when you play Indiana, there's no such thing as a layup. So you got to hit that 10-foot or 8-foot jumper, then hit the boards.
Paul Andrews coming on for Kentucky as a timeout is called. Indiana up by 4.
Which computer company is making more room in the computer room? A company with the technology to build a computer system that's more powerful and more reliable than its older cousins, but a whole lot smaller. That company is NCR.
Hello? Your new computer's here.
Their computer's everything the big computers were, except big. Innovative computer technology. You can expect it from NCR.
You know, one of the best things about being an ex-big leaguer is getting freebies to the game. Call the front office, bingo. And once these fans recognize me, I probably won't even have to pay for my light beer from Miller. Down it, I love them. These fans know I drink light because it's less filling and it tastes great. Good seats, huh?
You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on.
Oh, I must be in the front row.
Come on.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Good seats, hey, buddy? He missed the tag! He missed the tag!
Some make greatness look simple, like the great Gretzky and Canon's new vision of photography, the inspiring T70. With the pure agility, the complete versatility of touch button control and 3 distinct program modes. Now, Canon makes it simple to handle any shot. The inspiring Canon T70.
It makes the great shot simple.
All right, Al, this is the lineup that started for the Wildcats of Kentucky, and Robert Locke, a freshman out of Reedley, California, starting at center, and he, the big question mark in going up against Indiana.
Well, he's expendable. They want to move in Bennett, which they did, and so he just played the first couple of minutes.
And Delray Brooks, a freshman, making his first start for the Indiana Hoosiers. 18-14, Indiana on top. Paul Andrews has come out for the first time for Kentucky.
What you're watching that time is a 2-2-1 zone press up court. It's Gibbs a little bit. It's like rubber. That's where they want the ball. He's going to...
This is Simmons for Gioli. Nice. And a foul, a hacking foul on Kenny Walker.
Up there's the coach's box, the yellow line and the red line comes all the way down to the end of the bench. They got to stay in there. I think by next year the coach's box will not be around any longer. The referees are supposed to be watching the game, not the coaches.
They might put a referee up where a camera is overhead. Check it out closely. Incidentally, the officials, Phil Bova out of the Big Ten, George Solomon from the Big Ten, and an SEC representative, and Dale Kelly. What's your feeling about the split officiating?
Should be no such thing as split officiating. It leans towards favoring one coach or the other. If you don't like the officials leave a conference, then go to an outside conference to get the 3 officials. But they used to work as a team. That's why they've been working all year.
Can it work the other way? Perhaps there's an official who may not be that fond of a particular coach.
Well, but you don't use split officiating. It just doesn't mean the right thing. Why do you got split officials for?
All right, Indiana leading by 5. Bennett not able to hit. Here's Barham. And the foul call. It's against the Hoosiers.
They are ready now on the 6th. After this, it's 1-on-1. A lot of pushing and shoving underneath. As I said earlier, the refs are afraid of losing control of this game. So on every little touch underneath, they're going to call a foul.
Indiana opening up hot, 9 for the first 11. Kentucky 5 of 13. Blackman moving against the freshman Brooks. Here's Barham. They have traveled. Walker getting in, going glass. So Kenny Walker with 7.
That's what you got to do. You got to get to Kenny Walker down in the paint early in their half-court offense. Very early. If they're going to win, it has to be Kenny Walker. He's been averaging 12 shots a game. He has to move it up to about 18.
Indiana by 3, 19-16, 11 and a half left in this first half. Marv Albert with Al McGuire from Bloomington, Indiana. Naomi had it knocked away. Kentucky on a break, led by Blackman. That's Alford back. Andrews rejected by Blom.
Beautiful play by the big guy.
And here's Alford. Delray Brooks. Rebound, Giolmi. And a foul.
Watch Uwe Blom go up on this one. Now, he's on the Olympic team, the West German Olympic team. They lost 3 games, and they beat Egypt. Myself and Marv Albert and 3 of the cameramen to beat Egypt.
Let's not get crazy, Al. Although, if you're setting a screen, I'd be tough.
Well, an old 2-hand set shot?
No, please, jump it. Here's Mike Giolmi, a junior from Newark, Ohio. Started most of last year, averaged just under 9. Had a 6-game stretch, though, in the middle of the season where he was on fire at 16 a game. Did not have a good one against Kentucky last year. He got an early foul difficulty.
Well, he's consistent. He's a baseline operator.
Indiana by 5, 21-16.
I think both coaches have to be pleased with the style their teams play. They're moving the ball.
Andrews not able to hit. Richard Madison, who just came on, threw it away. Steve Alford. Played by Andrews. Here's Simmons loose.
Yes. That's what they were pushing in practice yesterday. Simmons has been in a slump. Coach said, you've got to come out of the slump. You got to hit that 10-footer if we're going to do anything. He's a little bit more salty than that when he talks.
Yes. Simmons has 6 points, and Joe B wants to talk it over. We'll be right back.
I need some last-minute gifts.
You?
Curtis Mathis backs everything with a 4-year warranty.
Everything?
Then I'll take these stereos, VCRs, cameras, portables, consoles.
How did you?
Everything.
Delivery and installation are included.
Oh, tonight I'll handle those details.
Of course. Hey! Merry Christmas!
The Dallas Morning News, 3 a.m. You know this crew gets heartburn. And when they do, there's no time to stop. No wonder so many people take Rolaids, the tablet that gives millions 100% relief. Like a sponge, Rolaids antacid medicine consumes 100% of the acid required to give millions 100% relief. With Rolaids, you can keep going. Rolaids. Rolaids spells 100% relief.
We flash back to a great moment in college basketball history involving the Kentucky Wildcats. Joe B. Hall's first appearance in the Final Four back in 1975. It marked John Wooden's finale as a coach, and Wooden and UCLA won their 10th NCAA title in 12 seasons.
That year, Kentucky beat Indiana 92-90, and the Kentucky fans, the real ones that bleed blue, said it was the greatest game Kentucky's ever played.
Right now, Kentucky trailing Indiana 23-16, and a major factor, Kenny Walker a moment ago picking up a third personal foul. This is Blackman, watched by Brooks. Indiana off to a hot shooting start, 10 of 13 from the floor. Kentucky only 6 of 18. Here's Andrews.
They needed that one. Andrews can fill it up from the outside.
Paul Andrews, 6'2", sophomore from London, Kentucky. Look out.
Ooh, beautiful play by Steve.
Little Marcus Haynes and Steve Alford. Here's Block. Rebound, Winston Bennett, who's made it back following the arthroscopic surgery.
Plus, they had a little bit of a cyst cut off the bottom of his foot in the middle of of November. That's why he doesn't start. This
is McKinley, who just came on, kept alive by Bennett.
Indiana, tough man-to-man. Blackman's trying to take Del Rey uptown.
.45-second clock is in use. Blackman, a wild shot. Both the Big Ten and the SEC do use the 45-second clock, and both coaches agreed that it would be in use today.
I don't think it's smart. The NCAA does not have it in the tournament, so why play with it all year and not in the tournament at the end of the season?
But at least they do use it for the entire game. I could never understand shutting it off in the final minutes. So a mark of consistency.
Pushing and shoving underneath.
Yes, Blop in a battle with Barham. Simmons trying to draw the foul. Here's Blop. And Winston Bennett off the boards. 8:45 left first half. Indiana up 23-18. Kentucky Wildcats, who lost 4 starters and 5 lettermen from last year's team. They have won 29 out of 34, winning the SEC title. Yes, it counts. And Brett Barham off to a fast start. He has 9 points. Kentucky also advancing to the Final Four in Seattle, where they lost eventually to the champions Georgetown.
See, a good move. He turns around and faces Uwe, trying to make Uwe make a defensive move, and then he was hacked by Simmons from the weak side.
Barham coming off a 1-for-7 shooting game against SMU in that 2-point loss on Tuesday.
Indiana needs a basket here. Now lost their momentum.
23-21, Indiana by 2.
Coach Knight likes 4 passes before they shoot, with the exception when Alfred has the ball in his hand and he's free. There could be no passes.
And he has 3 field goals, 6 points. 59% shooter last season.
I have a halftime show on him today. He might be the greatest shooter in college basketball today.
They're just deadly from the foul line of Steve Alford. McKinley deadly from the foul line to bring Kentucky within 2.
Here's the pressure up court, kind of token. He's trying to break the timing of Indiana.
Who would you compare Alford to as you look back over the... Oh, look out.
Yeah, pushing and shoving. Alford pushed him first, I thought. Then Andrews come back, and the ref caught him coming back. It's a 1-on-1 situation for both teams now.
Andrews committing the foul.
Yeah. Steve Alford's playing a little bit more physical. I think Bobby got on him yesterday at practice, figuring he wasn't being physical enough against his opponent. Here's the push-off. He can't catch it completely. There's the elbow. Now Andrews comes back, and we go to commercial.
All right, it's Indiana by 2, 25-23. We'll be right back.
There are lots of ways to communicate over long distances, but with some, you may not be able to reach everywhere you want, anytime you want. And a faraway message may feel far away. But you can always count on AT&T, the only long-distance service that lets you call from anywhere to anywhere with operators standing by. And with AT&T, your calls will sound as close as next door. So why settle for anything less? AT&T, the more you hear, the better we sound.
Reach out and touch someone.
Everybody's coming to the Johnsons for the holidays. 12 aunts, uncles, and cousins are going to have a real feast. But some will overdo it, whether it's Uncle Harry's heartburn or the twins' upset stomachs. The one that coats is the only one they need. Pepto-Bismol. As it coats, it relieves heartburn, upset stomach, and diarrhea. Pepto-Bismol. For most common stomach discomforts,
Hello, my ragtime gal.
the one that coats is the only one you need.
The best and the brightest of the bowls are on NBC. As the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl pits sensational running back Keith Byers of 5th-ranked Ohio State against the Pac-10 champion USC Trojans. College football's best and brightest. On New Year's Day, America loves its sports, NBC style.
Power pack lineup here on NBC on New Year's Day. The Fiesta Bowl will get it rolling starting at 1:30 Eastern Time, and then the Rose followed by the Orange Bowl. So that'll be here on NBC on New Year's Day.
This Bobby's been quite quiet today, I thought.
It's early. Real early. Well, Kentucky and Indiana have combined for 9 national titles. UCLA, of course, on top of that department with 10.
Joby Hall has 1. Coach Knight has 2.
Indiana ball as we resume. Marv Albert, Al McGuire from the campus of Indiana University in Bloomington. Here is Simmons. Yes, 27-23. The Hoosiers on top.
Uwe Blah was in there about 6 seconds that time.
This is Blackman.
Del Rey's doing a good job defensively.
Ed Davender has come on for the first time for Kentucky, a freshman out of Brooklyn. One of the most highly recruited in the nation last year. Here's Winston Bennett with a stutter step. And the officials check it out. They say last touched by Kentucky. Getting back to Steve Alford and his terrific outside shooting cut. Anyone come to mind? Of course, he's only a sophomore, but who would you compare him
Well, first of all, from Indiana, I think McLaughlin, John McLaughlin, plays a lot like him, but a little bit more movement. I would think a lot like Jerry West. I think his body will mature as the years go by. What he has to do is he has to learn to cut closer to the picks so he shakes his man off.
What a move by Uwe Blum.
Well, sometimes he looks like a Super All-American, and the next time he looks like Sauerkraut Thunder.
Of course, he is 7'2". And is using that height advantage. He now has 4 field goals, 8 points. 6-point Indiana leads, 6.5 left, first half.
There's the kid from Brooklyn.
And Davender with his first field goal attempt. And the foul call on Marty Simmons.
One of Uwe's big problems is handling the ball. Once he gets good handle on the ball, he gets good body movement.
Simmons sitting down as he picked up his 3rd and replaced by Winston Morgan, a junior from Anderson, Indiana, wearing number 21.
He was a hardship case last year, got injured after 6 games. Now there's a difference, gang, between hardship and redshirting. As an example, at the University of Indiana this year in football, they redshirted 20 ball players. Hardship is when you get injured and you're allowed to play in 20% of the games. You're playing over 20%, it counts as a year. It must be the early part of the season. That's 2 in football and about 7 in basketball.
And Winston Morgan was out with a stress fracture of the right foot. Nice inside work by Gioni. 6-point Indiana lead, 31-25. Mike Gioni has 9 points.
I like the way Kentucky's staying in this game. The young ball club. Yep.
The Wildcats turn it over.
That could be costly right there.
That's their 5th turnover. Indiana with 3. Joby Hall not pleased. We're just under 6 left first half as Delray Brooks moves down. Alford getting it to Blum. With the hook. Gioni. And the foul on Bennett of Kentucky.
That was a hairline call. It could have went either way. Watch Uwe here. He thinks he's a sky hook like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I thought at the end this call, here's the sky hook. Now watch this call at the end. could go either way. Watch Bennett step in. There's Bennett stepping in. That could have been a charge by Giomi, or whichever way the view of the referee. The SEC referee called that, Mr. Keller.
You know, that's a shot that big guys should use more frequently. Guy like Blanc, it's impossible to stop the shot. Well, you give me a look. You don't agree?
But Marv, it's difficult to make. It looks nice.
So is the straightaway jumper for some. I won't mention names after. 6-point Indiana lead. George Mikan was in New York the other day, Madison Square Garden, honoring their all-time college basketball team. Here's Ed Davender, not able to hit. Fair off the board. Fans wanted it. Yes, they get the travel.
He walked.
The outside official with the travel. Mikan, a guy that one of the few guys you did not pick on in your pro days.
Surprisingly, Mikan was mobile. He'd run up and down the court, in the middle of the court, and we used to try to step in front of him to break his stride, but after he hit you 1 or 2 times, that was the end. He's one of the few big men of yesteryear that could be playing today.
Really?
Yes, he was that good.
No question he played today, but how effective would he be? He would not call Mikan quick, and of course there weren't that many guys that big at the time. But no, the point is that he feels that the kids are not using the hook shot, and really the big centers would be so much more effective. Not necessarily a Bob Hooverage type hook. All right, here's a nice follow by Winston Bennett, and Indiana now leads 31-27.
Hanging in there real fine. Bennett gets a lot of muscle baskets like that.
5 minutes left, first half. Indiana by 4. Delray Brooks from deep.
Yes. Delray needed that. Coach Knight calls him, when he's going good, he calls him Brooksy.
Freshman from Michigan City, Indiana. He averaged 33 points in his senior year in high school. Delray Brooks with his first bucket. Dabber to watch by Alford.
Don't get layups against Indiana. You got to pull up in a 10-foot jumper. See, that's what going to pull up for.
Bluff off the board.
Well set now. Steve Alford has to pick his man off closer to the guy that's picking for him.
Giomi. Cedric Jenkins, who just came on. Off the board, Jenkins, a 6'8" freshman.
Down at Georgia, the same place that Walker. Walker's not playing because there's 3 personal fouls. Without Walker, it's very difficult for the Big Blue to win.
Davender getting it down low. Off the head fake. Again, fans looking for the travel. Jenkins not able to follow. Here's a 2-on-1. Over with Delray. And the blocking foul by Davender.
I thought Alford should have kicked that ball off sooner than Delray on his right. Here's the step in, charge and foul. You see Delray trailing. He was open. This is automatic. Led the country last year in foul shooting, 91.3. Everyone talks about his hair. A girl wrote in or called into Bobby Knight's talk show saying, does he use spray or does he cut his hair real short? Bobby Knight says no. What he does on defense, he keeps both his hands on his hair.
Very good. You made that up.
No, I didn't. I didn't make it up.
Alford is now 14 for 14 from the foul line. And at halftime, out in a close-up look at Steve Alford, the sophomore from Newcastle, Indiana. I think his dad looks younger than Steve.
Yeah, his father's a coach. His father led the nation in the NAIA when he was in college with 92%.
Welcome to Miller Time.
Miller Time begins here, where Miller High Life waits for the finest ingredients to reach their golden best. Then we go beyond ingredients and use the finest brewing skills, making sure Miller High Life contains no additives and no preservatives. So come your Miller time, you get nothing but the fresh, smooth taste of just pure beer. Welcome to Miller High Life.
Welcome to Miller Time.
The human hand. It's not flat, it's curved. And now finally, there's a glove built around it. Finally, from Wells Lamont, grip gloves. The only all-purpose leather glove with a patented pre-curved design for a comfortable grip that just won't give. Grips from Wells Lamont.
Look for Wells Lamont gloves at the sign of the mule.
The best and the brightest of the bowls are on NBC. The Citrus Bowl kicks off our season as the Bulldogs of Georgia battle the Florida State Seminoles. All of the wide-open excitement of college football at its best and brightest. The Florida Citrus Bowl. America loves its sports, NBC style.
Well, we have a moment here. We'd like to wish Artificial Heart recipient Bill Schrader well, who is watching the game in Louisville, and he is a wild fan of the Indiana Hoosiers.
Well, if Indiana wins today, maybe next week we'll have him as a cheerleader.
But meanwhile, in the stands here in Bloomington, and we'll get a shot of Dr. William DeVries, the man who performed the operation. A very clever ploy by Dr. DeVries. He says, Bill, you stay where you are, rest up. I'll use your tickets, which is exactly what has happened. But we'd like to wish Bill Schrader well. He's at the Humana Heart Institute in Louisville.
Yeah. Now, Doctor lives in Louisville, but he is an IU fan for many, many years.
35-27. So Bill Schroeder's Indiana Hoosiers on top. And the freshman Robert Locke has come back on.
Robert Locke is foul prone. He's green, he's young. Coach Joe B's trying to get him a lot of work as much as possible. But it looks like they're laying off him, letting him shoot from the outside. So they're going to take him right back out now.
This after picking up his second, so a very brief rest for Brett Barrett. Barrett has been the guy offensively. 12 points thus far, and here's Uwe Blom. 7'2" senior from Munich, Germany, has 4 field goals for 8. He had a good one against Kentucky last year with 12 rebounds.
Well, he has a brother that's a freshman in Illinois, the redshirt. His name is Olaf. It's kind of a unique name for an American.
You know, you're brutal today.
St. Olaf in Minnesota will never talk to me again.
Good. 3:21 left in this first half, and Indiana now leading by 10, the biggest lead of the ball game. Todd Meyer coming off an 8-rebound performance, replacing Uwe Blop, sits down with 10.
Need a basket right here, the Wildcats. Well, when Blop gets out of the gate fast, he has good ball game. Big hit by Madison, who I guarantee you, gang, is going to be a great athlete. He is a great athlete.
They call him the Master Blaster. Baseball pitcher in high school. His fastball clocked at better than 90 miles per hour. Outstanding all-around athlete. Richard Madison bringing Kentucky with an 8. 37-29.
Kentucky in a 2-3 zone. Look for Alfred for the outside shot. They are. Oh, I'm surprised you didn't take it, Steve. They called on Madison. Joe B doesn't like the call. Was pushing and shoving between Todd Myers and Madison.
Now they say Meyer. First Madison thought it was on him.
Oh, okay.
And apparently changed the call. So it's Todd Meyer, the sophomore from Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Yep, Oshkosh by gosh. Bobby standing there and playing the martyr. This Madison kid, he went to one track meet in his high school career. Never jumped before, never high jumped before. Went 6'8". Watch the foul underneath here. They're bumping each other. Called either way. Just physical, grinding it out. And the refs are afraid of losing control of this game. It's a traditional game. Both teams pick down. Any team that picks down is always a physical game.
Kentucky has won 7 of the last 9 meetings, 5 of the last 6, including last year, Kentucky winning in Lexington by 5. A 6-point Indiana lead with 2:20 left in the first half. A traveling violation call. Winston Morgan called for steps. And Kentucky takes over. A backcourt now of Roger Harden and the freshman Ed Davenport. Winston Bennett up front with Brett Barrett and the Master Blaster, Richard Madison. And they turn it over. So they match travels. And Indiana takes possession.
This 2-3 zone, I'd be shocked if we did not get the ball to Alfred this time for an outside shot. Let's see if it happens.
Alfred has to give it back.
He has to penetrate and go through. Alfred has to move more without the ball, even against his own. See, Madison's so tall in that position. There's two for Giome. He can go down.
Rare miss. He's been hot. Minute and a half left, first half. Winston Bennett off the spin.
Beautiful move. Beautiful move. Caught the guy in his tail and spun around for 360, played him off the glass.
And then he looking good. 3 field goals, 6 points. 4-point Indiana lead. 37-33. Delray Brooks. Nice pass for Giome.
Give credit to Delray Brooks on that one.
6-point Indiana lead. 39-33. And we are just under 1 minute left in this first half. Remember, at halftime, a close-up look. Al will be talking with Steve Alford, the sensational sophomore. Beautiful move by Madison. Yes, and it counts.
Oh, good. Nice move. Yeah. Watch what catch you. Watch Winston Bennett spin. There's the spin. Now 2 men on him, and he has to play it off the glass. Pro play. Marv, I got a special on after this game. If this game ends on time, it's a half-hour special. I like for the people to watch it because we work very hard on it. Send some letters.
And it means a lot to your family. That'll be following Kentucky and Indiana as Al ushers in the 84-85 college basketball season. That will include an interview with Bob Knight.
I went up to Madison River when he went fly fishing a week after the Olympics.
Barb has it knocked away by Brooks.
Nice pass.
Giome.
Beautiful play. Joe should go for 1 now.
5-point Indiana lead. Clock down to 15 seconds left. First half. This crowd on its feet. Down to 10 seconds. And the steal again by Brooks. 5 seconds. Here's Giome racing the clock for Brooks.
Went from a 3-point halftime to a 7-point halftime. Joe B's very hot under the collar. I don't blame him. But that's college basketball. You never know. The turnover killed him at the end there. Now here comes the pass. Delray has a simple 2-point layup.
Consecutive steals by the freshman Delray Brooks, leading to the swing with Indiana up at halftime. 43-36. We'll be back to chat with Steve Alford right after these words.
When an alkaline battery goes dead, you throw it away and buy a new one. This is a GE rechargeable. When it goes dead, you recharge it. It costs more than batteries you throw away, but lasts up to 4 years. Used 10 hours a week, this toy would use over 300 long-life batteries to just 2 GE rechargeables. So if you're still throwing away batteries, you're throwing away a lot of money.
The power to hook. The power to hit. The AMF angle, with the power of its unique urethane formula. Winter Pro Tour's #1 winner, 3 years in a row. And now there are 3 angles. Black for average lanes, gray for dry lanes, gold to win on oily lanes. And for winning looks, angle shirts, shoes, and bags. Hooking power, hitting power. The angle strikes again.